Okay, homie. Alabama Prison Pro Birmingham in the house. That's right, homie. Y'all know the ham up in here too.
DC APP, the voice of ADOC. What's going on, man? Y'all know what's going on, man. Shout out to everybody that's messing with all the socials. Like I said, we on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. You know what I'm saying? We going crazy. Make sure y'all hit me in the Gmail if y'all got something to say. You know what I'm saying? Alabama Prisoner Profiles at gmail.net. And today I'm gonna be bringing y'all this article I ran across this morning when I was on the toilet, right? About this Department of Corrections nurse whose husband is now incarcerated and now subject to the same horror she cared for and turned a blind eye to. So we gonna hop straight into it. Y'all know what's going on. All right, hopping right into it. It says Crystal Chapman has firsthand experience with the horrors of the Alabama Department of Corrections as a former nurse, and now she is afraid her incarcerated husband may die while serving a 3-year sentence. Quote, "I'm afraid his 3-year sentence will turn into a death sentence," Chapman told APR. According to Chapman, her husband has lost over 50 pounds and has been assaulted twice while being incarcerated for over a year at Bibb County Correctional Facility. That's Bibb up there at the top. Chapman said she has not seen her husband face to face while he has been incarcerated due to COVID-19 restrictions, despite many of them being rolled back over the past year. The reason for this policy still enduring is likely because of the money telecommunications companies can make from forcing families to use their costly cell phone and video services. I'm pretty sure COVID is still a big deal within the Alabama Department of Corrections. They still got those restrictions, but damn, 50 pounds? And now you finna see what these families go through, even though y'all know you already saw, but having this first-hand experience with a loved one incarcerated within the Alabama Department of Corrections is nothing short of heart-wrenching. That's the company right there, Securus Tel. Continuing on, it says telecom companies profited greatly from the pandemic, including Securus Technologies with the Alabama Department of Corrections contracts with. In fact, Securus previously made it a contractual obligation for prisons to end or limit in-person visitation before vocal outrage ended that policy. Despite not seeing her husband this entire time, Chapman speaks with him every night, and one of her husband's dorm mates lets him take a picture of himself to show Chapman. Chapman said she would not have recognized him if it were not for his recognizable tattoos due to his drastic weight loss. Chapman also revealed that her husband was tricked into taking a plea deal after Patrick Brennan, an assistant district attorney in Baldwin County, said he would become a habitual felony offender with just one other charge. Her husband was charged with attempted murder for an incident that Chapman explained was totally an accident and was because a gun misfired when he tried to rescue his former wife at the time from a car when he thought she was being held by a drug dealer. However, his ex-wife's daughter was actually in the car, but he slipped and the gun misfired, slightly grazing his ex-wife. Yeah, that don't sound good. That don't, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Allegedly, accusations, right? Chapman's husband already had a previous felony, but in order to end up as an habitual felony offender, he would have needed another prior felony. So I guess it's 2 prior felonies instead of 1. Yeah. Now, Chapman is just hopeful that Alabama Appleseed can help her husband get into the CORE program and potentially keep him safe until he can come home. And that's a picture of the CORE program right there. Got a quote here. "If Miss Carla Crowder can get him into the CORE program, then at least I'll think he's got a 50% chance of survival for the next year and a half," Chapman said. Damn, that's crazy, but typical of these inmate communication companies is taking advantage of the pandemic. Just like, y'all know, like the pandemic was the worst thing to happen to one, prison facilities, and number 2, in my opinion, fast food restaurant. Side note, right? All the fast food restaurants, a lot of them, the insides are closed and shit like that. It don't even be for COVID. It be because niggas ain't came to work and shit like that. So frustrating, you know what I'm saying? worst thing that happened. I'd be like, y'all, anyway, bro. That was side note frustration, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. Also, you're telling me the DOC contracted an obligation to limit in-person visitation to rely on these damn phone systems and shit that are expensive. I'm sure they're expensive as hell, you know what I'm saying? Wow. Crazy. They just in bed with everybody. Shit, crazy as a messy bug. But continuing on, right, here's on Chapman and her experience as being a nurse at Holman Correctional Facility, which is at one time, that's pretty much the worst place in the entire state you can be, even though the majority of the facilities are fucked up. Holman is just, my lord. Here we go. Chapman said she worked at Holman Correctional Facility in Atmore from 2021 to 2021. In just a year, right? And recalled it being, quote, physically the most disgusting place I had ever seen. But she added that after researching, it seems that all ADOC facilities are the same. Correct. Chapman also revealed the medical neglect she witnessed many incarcerated individuals endure because of medical staff or guards disliking of the individual or believing that they were not worthy of care. Chapman said she often tried to stand up for the incarcerated people but was threatened by guards and her fellow medical workers.
Makeshift.
Hey, my brother, now I got to ask you your name after seeing your hand like that. Your name and your AIS number so we can try to get you some help.
Jerome Williams.
Jerome.
AIS number 288925.
288985. 25. Okay. And Jerome Williams, man, I know that you said your hand was swole up kind of bad, real bad. And to me, it looked like it's broke.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we look at it right now. So that looks rough. That's clearly swole, broke. Now, lift your other hand up there and compare it to it. So that's not right. Your hand is really, really damaged.
Shattered.
And it's shattered. And you say you got hit by a stick. And when you went to the healthcare unit, the nurses didn't want to. The nurses, you told them it was. By looking at it, they can tell it's broke. But you saying
officers refused me even a chance to speak with the nurse.
Sergeant Casino Pacific.
She said, I heard my word for word. I don't like you anyway.
She said she didn't like you and therefore was not sending you out the gate to get medical help.
Yes, sir.
In other words, she took a personal bandana and denied you medical treatment, because I've been hearing a lot about things that she's been involved with when it comes to injuries and not helping the inmates out. So she specifically told the nurse not to get, and that arm is clearly broken. This is crazy.
She wouldn't let me speak with the nurse.
She wouldn't let you speak with the nurse, even though your hand is looking like that right there.
Yes, sir.
It's clearly broke.
Yes.
And how long ago this happened?
3 weeks.
And the doctors have not made the decision to send you out, basically because the DOC is basically hindering the process. Sergeant Casino do not want you to get any kind of medical help with this clearly broken arm. This is the stuff I'm talking about here in the Department of Corrections. Sergeant Casino, it has to be addressed. If the warden allows her to continue to commit these atrocities against these inmates who are suffering in this place, and he can possibly face amputation if he doesn't receive adequate medical or quick medical attention. This is crazy. It just makes me furious. It makes me upset, man. We need to make some calls. We need to take some action right now. And Sergeant Casino is directly responsible for this misconduct.
Now that's a video from Mr. Bernard Jemerson's Facebook and the TikTok page Prison Talks. But Exhibit 8, man, you know what I'm saying? You see what he says? She said, I don't like you anyway. Fuck your hand. Hand swole up the size of a goddamn, that's insane. Look at the man's hands. Folks' tattoo gonna be stretched out and everything, man. Craziness. Shout out Bernard, Big Nard, you know what I'm saying? Adventures right now, keeping us updated on a lot of shit that's going on within the Alabama Department of Corrections. So, continuing on, right? She says, quote, I was finally told by one of the lieutenants there that I needed to hush because what they said went, and if I didn't like it, they would escort me off the property, she said. Quote, y'all remember what Pitbull said about that nurse telling that one officer that she was gonna call her husband and come up there and do his ass if you touched her, you know what I'm saying? That just popped in my head. So she said, quote, "There's so many times those inmates didn't get the care they needed because nobody felt like bringing them to the medical office. And every day I would hear, and you just do too much for them. You know, they're just animals. Why do you do too much?" Insane. Care, custody, and control, right? These are the type of motherfuckers looking after your loved ones. You know what I'm saying? Animals? These are human beings, especially the lot of them that aren't career criminals and just made a simple mistake that you or I could, that could land them within the Alabama Department of Corrections, fighting for their life on any given day from any given number of hazards. You know what I'm saying? Continuing. Chapman also described hearing about and witnessing the sadistic acts of the warden of Holman, Terry Raybon, would commit against the incarcerated. That's him at the top of that slide right there. Let's see. Where the fuck did I leave off? She said she heard other nurses and incarcerated people discuss Raybon taking stray cats that incarcerated people would play with and care for out into the woods and have them shot. What the fuck? With what? Probably a shotgun? What? Why them folks can't play with them cats, man? Why them folks? I know them folks probably feed them cats. Them cats is probably keeping a lot of them men sane and keeping a lot of the men off of your officers for doing stuff like that. Like, wonder what is the incentive for not assaulting an officer? You know what I'm saying? You see what Pit Bull went through. They might fucking kill you. You know what I'm saying? But like, what? I wonder, like, what is there punishment? Like, outside chart or what's going on? I guess not. Fucking, you know what I'm saying? Keep it in the facility, I guess. She also described another incident where incarcerated people grew watermelons, and right before they were ripe enough, Raybon came through and smashed them all. So the warden came through just kicking over watermelons and shit. Just craziness. Raybon has a past of being violent, especially to women in his life. Oh, here we go, right? AVR has previously reported on incidents of domestic violence Raybon was involved in back in 98 and 99. This led Raybon to being fired from his job as an Alabama state trooper at the time, right? So he used to be a professional ticket writer, you know what I'm saying? And now he's a correctional warden third, making the fucking most a warden can make, you know what I'm saying? And this man, you know what I'm saying, got domestic allegations on his name, you know what I'm saying? Continuing. Raybon was hired by the ADOC in 2000, just a year after being fired as a state trooper. In order to get hired with ADOC, Raybon needing a letter of approval from the Department of Public Safety. However, no documentation was found indicating the DPS's approval. Raybon has subsequently risen through the ranks, leading him to becoming a correctional warden 3 in 2020. While working with ADOC, Raybon has had one recorded incident where he, quote, initiated and engaged in a physical altercation with another officer. So, damn, imagine you get to heating with another officer. Probably one that said, "Hey, man, what are you doing? That's wrong." You know what I'm saying? What you want to do? Well, you know what I'm saying? Raybon was suspended for 5 days due to the incident, right? Don't say shit else happened to that other officer, right? So that would indicate that he just took off on something. And I'm surprised that they don't keep that shit within the facility, but we fucking, you know what I'm saying? They cover up inmate deaths. You know what I'm saying? Officers get into it. They getting suspended and shit. That's some whole shit for real. Let's see. Chapman said that she quit her nursing job because of the threats against her and just how terrible it was. From her experience, the only thing that changes the rot in the system is for it to be overhauled completely. Quote, the whole system needs to be brought down from John Hamm all the way down the line. I don't care. John Hamm's the commissioner. Also, this picture I got in the thumbnail is another gentleman a couple slides back that had recently passed away, and there's a lawsuit saying he was tortured, denied medical neglect. You know what I'm saying? This picture of him in the thumbnail, prisoners it took after he expired in the dorm. But I also want to point out to y'all, this isn't some disgruntled former inmate, current inmate, even a former officer. This is a nurse who can go get a job anywhere in the country, not working for the goddamn Department of Corrections, telling you that that shit is fucked up. And she saw some fucked up shit and was held from doing, you know what I'm saying, what she took an oath to do by ADOC staff and stuff like that, like trying to hinder her care. So why you doing that? You doing too much. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when anyway, you know what I'm saying? Craziness. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. That Pitbull Part 4 dropping this week. Y'all know what's going on.